Hey, it's Jess. Welcome back. Today I'm here with another Way Back Wednesday where I will be talking about all the books that I read in September of 2021. Looking at my Goodreads, I read a total of 7 books that month. However, I will not be talking about 2 of the books because they were published by St. Martin's Press, and again, the boycott is ongoing, so we are not giving them any free advertising, so we won't be talking about any books that were published under St. Martin's Press or any other subsidiaries. The first book I read in September was The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. In this book, you are following a woman who, on her 25th birthday, I think, finds out that she has inherited this house and she doesn't know anything about why she's getting it, anything about her family. I think she knows that she was adopted. She doesn't know anything about her past, and then suddenly wakes up and has this house. And so part of the book is spent in that timeline, and part of the book is spent in the past where you find out and learn about the family that lived in this house before she inherited it. And it's got a lot of, family dynamics that are messed up because it's a thriller book. And it wouldn't be thrilling if there weren't some kind of mystery or messed up dynamics in it. I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it a 5 star. If not, it was really close. It was a 4.5 if it wasn't 5. I read it really quickly. I found it really engaging. I liked all the characters as much as you can, because obviously some characters are written where you're not supposed to like them. But I was really engrossed in the story, and I really enjoyed the twist and how it ended. Lisa Jewell did write a sequel, and I have read that book. I don't particularly think that this book needed a sequel. I thought it was a great standalone, and I did not enjoy the sequel as much as I enjoyed this first book. The next book I read was Freed by E.L. James. This is kind of like the 6th book in the 50 Shades of Grey series, where it's the 3rd book, which is 50 Shades Freed, but it's from Christian's perspective. And I don't know, I saw it at the library and I'd read all the other ones, and so I read this one too. And if you've read 50 Shades Freed, then you know what happens in Freed. Honestly, I barely remember. That's the one where they get married. Yes. Anna and Christian get married, and stuff happens. I don't know. Spoilers, in case you haven't read these books that came out, 15 years ago. Basically, I saw that it was at my library. I was like, hey, she wrote a last book. She rewrote it from Christian's perspective. And so I read it. I don't really like 50 Shades of Grey. I don't really like those characters. And I really just read it because I'm a completionist and I hate leaving things undone, says the girl who's read halfway through how many series now that we've talked about on this channel. But I guess that one, since it was just one more book, I was like, that's not too hard. I can read it. So I did. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember what rating I gave it. It's just another book that I read. The next book I read was I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. I had been hearing a lot about this on BookTube, and I knew they were making a movie about it, but I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie. This is one strange book. It's written very strangely, kind of difficult to read. Just the text and the prose is difficult to read, but also it's difficult to read in that it's just a very strange, what the heck is happening? I don't understand what's going on. It seems very fantastical. It is a horror book. I'm pretty sure it's listed under horror. And it's just so strange and weird, and I loved it. I really liked the movie too. The movie is not the same as the book. In it, so you are reading about a person and it's their inner monologue saying, talking about their relationship and saying they're thinking of ending things. So it's these 2 people that are driving in a car. The girlfriend is going to meet the boyfriend's family for the first time. So they drive, they're alone in a car, And that's when they're having all of these thoughts. And then you meet the boyfriend's family, and they're very strange. It's a very short visit, and it's very wintry. It's in the middle of, I think, a snowstorm. I just remember a winter setting. It's a very strange book, but again, I really liked it. I've been wanting to reread it because I just remember really liking it. How many times can I say I liked this book? Can't say anything else about it. The next book I read was The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I believe this is the third book of his that I had read. I've read more since then. In this book, you are following a woman. Our protagonist is part of a support group where all the women in it were the final girls in their stories. And what I really liked about it is, like, I can't remember the girl's name, but her story is fake. I mean, obviously all of these slashers are fake, but hers is not. Her story is not one that I had heard before. The other women in the support groups, their names are the names of the actresses who played the final girl in their movie. So, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whoever played, is her name Sally in that, the girl who survives? I think the actress's name was Marilyn. So there's a character in the book named Marilyn. Or like one of them is named Heather because Heather Langenkamp is Nancy, who is the final girl in Nightmare Before Elm Street. You get it? So I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. I thought it was a good way to, like, an interesting way to bring those movies and those final girls into this world. Anyway, so you're following this woman who is part of this final girl support group, and then she gets very paranoid and finds out that someone is picking off these final girls so that they will no longer be the final girl, and she thinks that she's next. So she's, like, on the run. I think. Something like that. I don't know. Still not my favorite Grady Hendrix book. We haven't gotten to that one yet. I'm really excited to talk about it, and I know I'm running out of books to talk about. So you're probably able to guess soon what my favorite book is. But I liked this one. I did not like it as much as, like, the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, but I did like it better than Horror Store. So this was, at this point, I had read 3 different Grady Hendrix books. This was my second favorite. The last book I read was The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I, again, had heard about this book a lot. I knew there was a movie. I'd never seen the movie, so I checked this book out. In it, you are following a girl who has been kidnapped by her neighbor, and it's a very sad book where you are following the family who does not know that she's been kidnapped. They don't know where she is, and she is basically watching them deal with life after she's left their lives. And also, like, seeing the backlash, and do they ever find out who kidnapped her? Do they ever find out where she is? Again, sad, lovely. It was a hard book to read because it was very emotional. I did not like the movie as much as I liked the book. I thought the casting was a little strange. First of all, Stanley Tucci is, like, the bad guy. And I'm sorry, I just can't see him as, like, a creepy, gross, creepier guy. I just love him so much, and that was a little unbelievable for me. But it was a good movie, but the book was much better, as it usually goes. If you are looking for something that's a little heart-wrenching, but also a little bit of a mystery thriller, then I suggest you check this one out. And those are all the books that I read in September of 2021. Not too many, but September is when school really gets started, so I typically don't read as many books that month of the year anyway. And I enjoyed most of the ones that I read. There's only a couple that I can't remember anything about. And again, I did have 2 books that I can't talk about, which is a real bummer because they're by one of my favorite authors. Now, I want to know, have you read any of these books? What did you think? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.